Hey everybody, thank you all for coming. I did ask yesterday if anybody wanted more face-off, and there was a resounding response from the internet. So here we are back again. In addition, I'll talk more about why this is a selection. And there's some very interesting stuff in this one. More than meets the eye. So let's go. We don't waste any time here. And again, this is about pure data, removes any bias. It's the way I've invested all my life. If you ever listen to anything from others, it can mess you up. I've learned that over the last 33 years. Anyway, there is a cool little exhibit I have at the very end of this video. It's a new thing I'm doing. It's called Delta Force, and it's fascinating. Let's go. And of course, this is not financial advice. And well, you know the drill here. It's a very strange time, but subscribe to this channel. We don't waste any time. We don't pump anything. And you will not find content like this anywhere else on the internet. There is also a face-off playlist. This new one will be added. So we'll have done 6 in total by now. And the results are interesting. We'll probably, at the very end, maybe do a complete summary of all the face-offs to see exactly how things stack up, because there's always alpha to be made somewhere in the markets, especially when you look at comparative values, and that's a big part of this too. So first of all, why this video? Well, nearly 2,000 people voted, and it was an overwhelming response from Patreon members, 81%, and from my Twitter subscribers, 85%. By the way, the reason I do Twitter subscriptions is so I can share stuff there that doesn't offend people who don't like data. So that's the reason I do it. And I can just speak my mind without being attacked by trolls. So that is why we're doing this. Other ones in the box were way down, literally 1/8 of the actual demand for other ones. Now we are talking layer ones. We know we've talked about layer zeros so far. We've done some layer zero comparisons. But this is a layer 1 comparison. It's a blockchain used by developers to build apps and decentralized apps and dApps as we go forward. So you know all that already if you know this channel. So very quick high-level comparison. And these two are more similar than you think in some ways. They're both layer 1s. They have different languages. One, Cardano is written in Haskell, and Solana is written primarily in Rust, C, C++, and Solang, which is their version of Solidity. Transaction speeds by GigPanda, thank you, up to 7 transactions per second for Cardano, and up to 710,000 transactions per second for Solana. We'll talk more about those later as well. Transaction fees, about 9 cents, 3 cents, 8 cents, depending on the actual price of Cardano. And Solana is dynamic at about 0.0025 cents. Both have horizontal scalability. Proof of stake is Cardano, and proof of history, which is unique, is Solana. Now, they both have high-tier Nakamoto coefficients for decentralization. Ecosystem is expansive for Cardano, and Solana now includes EVM compatibility, which is a new twist. Community, about 50,000 daily active users on the Cardano blockchain, about 250,000 on Solana, depending on the day. Sometimes it's 450,000, it all depends. And the price, 30 cents versus $23.34 or $23.10 right now as we speak. Now, market cap, this is interesting, 10.7 billion versus 9.4 billion, and fully diluted 13.7 billion versus 12.9 billion. So again, Zeno, thanks for being here. Very, very tight in this regard as we go forward. Now, a couple of things. We did mention the Haskell language, and not only do we compare a lot of data statistics, but also some things that are behind the scenes. And even late last year, Charles Hoskinson referred to the choice of Haskell as one of his biggest strategic mistakes. And he said in 2017, we made a mistake in choosing Haskell as our programming language. It is a very elegant language, but it's not very practical for a project like Cardano. It's too difficult to learn, and it's not very scalable. And in 2018, in a blog, he said Haskell was a mistake. Again, beautiful language, and they are exploring other options. I don't know where they are now on this. So let's look at Cardano real quick. And language is very important, by the way, because before I forget, Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey both said Rust is the best programming language on the world today. So let's look at how Cardano works. The current implementation is highly modular, and it includes components shown in the image. Now, where different deployment use cases will use different combinations of components, and Cardano is working on scaling its technology with Hydra, multi-headed snake, but is yet to realize this upgrade after many years of advertising its potential benefits. But we all know Cardano is slow and methodical and very academic in its approach. So let's look at Solana real quick. Solana's technology architecture is very different from most blockchains, and it is built in a unique technology stack that differs from ETH and all others. And clients transact and query the Solana network via JSON RPC API. Andy, thank you. Solana, how it works and what makes it so fast is proof of history is the key technology that attracted me to Solana in January 2020 when I was looking for that ETH killer. But it's worth highlighting since it enables high transaction throughput, and that's one of the reasons it's so important. And to overly simplify things, transactions are recorded with a timestamp, and this timestamp is referenced to ensure transactions are processed in the correct sequence en masse in a parallel fashion. To put this into context, imagine a motorway, freeway, highway with a toll booth, and tolls need to be processed sequentially. Solana has many lanes which lead to higher throughput, and the toll booth can log and process each toll in sequence as it knows when each car passed through the time-stamped toll. This is what makes it unique, and I hope I didn't oversimplify that too much. What also makes it unique, it has 8 different innovations. Proof of history, Turbine, Tower BFT, Gulfstream, Sea Level, Pipelining, Archivers, and Cloudbreak. Beyond the scope of this video to dig into those, but if you want a deep dive down the line, we've done it before, we can do it again. In addition, another parallel between Cardano and Solana is they were both listed by the SEC as securities, targeted, and that knocked the price down, but we covered that as well a week or two ago, so that makes another common thing. So let's jump into the data now. This is the IA Math engine. A beautiful little picture here. I created on Firefly, and I want to express my sincere gratitude to the team behind the scenes. It is a big monster. Scores of APIs, tons of tables, tons of databases, and a big thank you to the team and DJ for keeping this thing alive. It enables us to do this and share it all with you. So, first things first, the Nakamoto coefficient. If you know this channel, you know I talk about it a lot. It's a measure of decentralization. And Cardano have a different version. They call it MAV, and it's their equivalent of a Nakamoto coefficient, and that scores 22. Solana scores 33 using the Nakamoto coefficient. So slight win here. I'm going to go real fast because we have 55 slides to get through. Technology capability. This is important. We look at a couple of things here. One is block time, 20 seconds. Time to finality, 5 minutes for Cardano. And theoretical max TPS, 7. Compare that to Solana block time is 0. Time to finality is 2 seconds or less. Theoretical max TPS is 710,000. And they have a max recorded TPS of 1.2 million. Cardano does have a test max recorded TPS of 257. And as I say, even if you have 2,000 or 10,000 TPS, that's not going to cut it in the future unless you have a very exclusive use case. And remember as well, Fire Dancer is coming for Solana, and that'll make 1.2 million kind of commonplace transactions per second. Let's look at daily transactions. Here, 65,000 for Cardano. Depending on the day, it can be 50, can be 40, can be 80. And daily transactions for Solana is 14.6 million. Again, very different kettle of fish. Daily transaction history, you can see Cardano is steady, but at the bottom, that's the blue line. And Solana has declined in recent months for daily transactions, but the volume is still significantly higher than Cardano, so an easy win here. Again, things change. The summertime is very quiet, not only in the stock market, but also in crypto. Daily active users since June 1st. As of this date, daily active users 51,878 for Cardano, 244,243 for Solana. About a 5x. But what's interesting is daily active users since 1st of June is down 41% for Cardano and down 23% for Solana. Again, summer is a quiet time. Here you can see the daily active user history, and Cardano is steady towards the bottom. Solana is a steady 6x the number of users for Cardano and has periods of big upswings, 600, 700,000. And as we saw recently on things like Sui, they can have one-hit game on their layer 1 blockchain, and that can drive 500,000 daily active users just like that. So things move fast. And remember, all these models are dynamic. This is just a snapshot of a point in time, yesterday and today. Let's look at daily transactions over daily active users. 1.3 transactions per user on Cardano and 60 for Solana. So a lot higher there. Let's look at daily and average transaction fees. This is for $5,870 in daily transaction fees for Cardano and $48,309 for Solana. The question is, does $5,000 in fees cut it? Is it able to survive at that low level? I don't know. But remember as well, the fees are higher, although still much cheaper than Ethereum on Cardano. So we'll see exactly where things go from here. Now let's look at weekly developer activity. This is interesting. Commits per developer is different. So 4.7 commits per developer on Cardano, 7.3 on Solana. But weekly combined developers, 128 on Cardano, 415 on Solana, and weekly commits 605 on Cardano versus 3,029. Now that is kind of interesting considering the nature and the length of time that Cardano has been around. And you'll see different data in different areas, but we pay for expensive APIs to get this real-time data from multiple sources. Next, total developer contributions. Despite Cardano being around for much longer and many more years, Solana still manages to take crown for total developer contributions. 11,433 versus 1,559. That is staggering difference. Circulating supply, another interesting one. Cardano has been around for much longer than Solana. However, the remaining circulating supply for both projects is limited to staking rewards from here on out, which lessens an APY each year. So 78% of Cardano is circulating versus 73% of Solana. And the average is 83% for all SCPs. Now, this is another key ratio that we look at is market cap over daily transactions. And the difference suggests either one asset is severely undervalued or one asset is severely overvalued. But if you look here, you can see the actual amount of market cap per daily transaction. It's about 644 for Solana and 162,000 for Cardano. If you look at fully diluted, it's 200,000 versus about 682. So again, just another view of ratios. Let's look at market cap over daily active users. Again, 205,000 versus 38,000. Let's look at market cap over daily transaction fees. This is interesting. Market cap is over daily transaction fees for Cardano is 1.8 million, and it's 195,000 for Solana, and lower is better here, may I remind you all. By the way, what's also interesting is the median of all the top 28 smart contract platforms is 205,000. Let's look at market cap over developers. There's about $3 million of market cap per developer for Solana on circulating and about 17.6 million of market cap per developer. We want, again, a lower number here to be able to determine if there's value or not. Market cap over TVL, again, about $31 of market cap over TVL for Solana and about $58 for Cardano. TVL itself, you can see here, they're kind of close. Solana has the lead by about 1.65x higher TVL. TVL for Cardano is 182 million, 300 million for Solana, and Solana has been beaten down since the FTX debacle, etc. TVL change since June 1st. Cardano is up 5% and Solana is up 17%. DEX exchange volume. This has really been increasing a lot for Solana lately. The DEXs are coming back and Solana's in the lead by over 11.25 times what Cardano does. Cardano does about $5.6 million in DEX volume. Solana does about $62 million. And since June 1st, the Cardano DEX volume has fallen 76% and the DEX volume for Solana is up 69%. So lots of pinpoints. Now summarize all this at the end so we'll get a proper thing. We showed the Delta Force dashboard as well. So this is Stablecoin Market Cap, 15.4 million versus 1.6 billion, call it, for Solana. And distance from all-time high. This is interesting. They're so close here. The distance from all-time high is 90% for Cardano and 91% from Solana. And it's crazy, so that's almost a tie. But you want things to be a little bit further from that all-time high. The real question is, will either get back to the all-time high again? That is the million-dollar question. Let's look at some charts here as well. This is the Cardano price chart. What did I do? Cardano price chart. Yes, here you see the prices for Cardano are below January 2021 prices. It did have that bit of a spike up towards the end of 2020, whereas the Solana price chart, we identified it here as the Ethereum killer, one of the big projects we did back in early 2021, and it is up from January 2021 prices. But remember, it's a very new token, so it did go on a rampage up there, and it was also manipulated to go to such a high level. I firmly believe at this stage of the market, if there was no Alameda FTX pumping of it, prices probably wouldn't have exceeded $100 to $150. That's just my take. Now let's look at the pair chart. This is Solana divided by Cardano pair price chart. And this is staggering, everybody. You can't really look at a chart and measure something without looking at the pair and how they compete against each other and how they performed against each other. And here Solana's up since the beginning of January, 1,150% over 1,150 days. That is a big delta. So you can see even there, even the trend lately has been going up so far year to date a lot too. So big outperformance. Let's look at the Cardano ecosystem. Very expensive, and the graphics are a little bit out of date, but you can see Cardano has a very well-rounded ecosystem, and you can see they don't have anything like decentralized physical infrastructure, the deep in stuff like Solana does, but they do have wallets, oracles, dexes, infrastructure, stablecoins, tools and explorers, social governance, gaming, metaverse, DeFi, etc. They have a lot, but the question is, when you look at the daily active users, some of these things probably have zero or very low number of daily active users. Now, when you look at the Solana ecosystem, it's hard to pack into one screen, but it's bigger. And it's gotten a lot bigger, and it's very hard to capture a single clean image. But also, Solana's gained a lot of traction with the DePIN, decentralized infrastructure I mentioned. They got wallets, oracles, dexes, infrastructure, stablecoins, tools, social, SDK, gaming and metaverse, DeFi, lending and borrowing, payments, you name it. Big infrastructure. So let's look at social media engagement. And again, despite the Lindy effect for Cardano. Again, Cardano has been around. I think their mainnet went live in middle of 2017, summer 2017. And Solana was kind of close to the middle of 2020. But Solana has 2.264 million Twitter followers, whereas Cardano only has 840,000. But the Cardano followers are a very loyal bunch. And let's look at the category rank on the SCP profile. This is a summary of everything here, and there are scores and scores of metrics behind each one of these. This is just a summary view. Technology rank, Cardano comes 26 out of 28. Solana is number 1. Development activity rank, Cardano comes in at 10th place. Solana comes in 2nd. User adoption, Cardano comes in at 16th, and Solana comes in at 1. Remember, it's relative to all other chains. And growth opportunity, Cardano 17 versus Solana at 3. We paint everything equally based on data. There's no fudging of any numbers here. Let's look at the crypto compendium composite score. This was stunning. This is the first time I've seen two with an exact tie. From a tokenomics and fundamentals perspective, Cardano and Solana are within pretty much the same score of each other. Things like inflation, insider distribution, whale concentration, all the stuff we look at, tons and tons and tons of metrics, they are the same. So that's a tie, which I haven't seen before. So, but also remember, the longer a chain is around, the better the tokenomics crypto compendium score gets over time, because inflation goes down and gets more widely distributed, etc. So the fact that they are a tie here, if you fast forward 3 to 5 years, Solana will be a lot better from a tokenomics perspective. So if you want a recap of all this, these are all available in Substacks written by our community writers. So it's about 13 cents an episode, full of alpha, and you have all the slides, all the content, and you can listen to it when you're working out in the gym, etc. So time for conclusion. This is an interesting one, but wait for the Delta Force piece, because that's really interesting. And Cardano has one single advantage, which is almost to be expected given it is an older project. of the two, and that is Circulating Supply. And it's only beating Solana by 5%. But as a reminder, both projects are only inflating via staking rewards at this stage of the game. But Solana wins in every other metric we could throw at it. Score 18-1 with one tie on the Compendium score. Again, tens of thousands of numbers go into this, and they're measured equally. So let's look at the delta scores. This is one thing that we're doing for the first time, and I'll follow this up with a quick chart to give you a visual. We thought this would be an interesting battle, but it's way more interesting than that, because the delta in how much better certain components are is kind of stunning. And this can be seen here in this chart. This is a log chart, because looking at numbers, other than that, kind of would make sense. And I always wanted to add weighting to what matters, but I decided to keep it very fair and just do kind of like a 1 and 0 score. However, it is important to show the differences between Solana and Cardano in a visual way. And here you can see the leagues that Solana is ahead of Cardano in all these aspects. So you can look at that yourself, but it's really, really important. It is not tight. And the most important thing is this. If I was, all things being equal, I look at this ratio from the I engine as it shows upside. If two horses are more or less the same, but one is worth far less in ETH terms, for me as an investor, it brings about more upside. And considering the metrics we've seen so far, even if Cardano was a fifth of the market cap of Solana, I would still call Cardano overvalued relative to Solana. And that is just based on what the numbers indicate. But I have another surprise for you coming up as well, which is very different. This is the market cap, crypto market cap, justified. Cardano has more of the total CMC, 0.92%, versus Solana, 0.81%. And it's pretty clear Solana wins this face-off, but it wins it by a huge amount. We have never, ever had a competition like this. What's also incredible about crypto is people don't look at fundamentals. Despite all of this data, Solana trades under the Cardano market cap, and has done with a couple of very small exceptions. It breached the market cap of Cardano a week or two ago. And again, back in, what was that? Sometime in September, October 2022, it did the same thing. But other than that, Cardano has traded more with more market cap than Solana. And it shows you how bizarre this world is. But over time, fundamentals make things float to the top. So that is the face-off that the community requested. And a big thank you to Patreon and everybody on Patreon for making me do this. We have each other's backs. And it did sell out actually a month and a half ago. And it sold out last month. But at the end of every month, there's always attrition. People's credit cards bounce, so there are a couple of open seats. But it shows you the bull market is on. So thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show. It's just data. Don't shoot the messenger. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And thank you to the mods in the chat as well. And I see questions here from Brad Johnson. Cardano has better technology, better developed. Yeah. And that's just, I'm not going to get into a debate. All I do is share data. Thanks all. And I share this so you can make your own decisions when it comes to your own financial future. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Bye-bye.